going to be speaking to us in just a minute. In the footsteps of Hemingway, Conan Doyle, and London, Andy Bunch is an adventure writer. He has traveled extensively along the West Coast, built a church in Mexico, sung for his supper in Canada, and taught archery in Alaska. He's trained in CPR, first aid, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these things. Hiya stuff. Kung Fu is one of them, but I know that I recognize that one. He skydived, rafted Class 4 rapids, drank moonshine with felons. Huh? That's good. Dined with royalty, spent a week in the woods with only a knife, flint, black plastic, and some TP, and studied British history in Great Britain. Andy has college coursework in technical, essay, short story, and novel writing, lending to a Penguin Award for student leadership, and later a degree in business management. He has worked as a technical writer and a document control specialist, been a contributing editor on the Salmon Creek Journal, and the fiction editor of The Phoenix magazine. Both his fiction and nonfiction appear all over the web. And Andy, come on up. And his books are available here. And he'll be able to talk about that.
I'm shorter than everybody else, except for the one girl. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thanks, Tina, for arranging things. There's a lot of energy that goes into any of this stuff, and as probably a lot of you are writers yourselves, you know that the indie writing thing is enormously taxing and fun. It's a great labor. I didn't realize until I was scrutinizing the emails that were sent out to me that I'm supposed to be reading from the book, like the focus book that had a picture of it on the thing. As I went through that with a fine-tooth comb and looked for areas that I could read in 15 minutes that you wouldn't be completely lost, and and thought, I'm going to read one of my short stories because that I can get all the way through. So I will be reading from a short story, and the only thing I want to do to set it up is to say that not all of my characters are supposed to be good guys. So we'll see if you can tell which ones are which. The story is called The Dark Gin. On a rocky section of the Oregon coast, not far from Lincoln City, lay a nondescript bottle. Fred eyed the bottle as he jogged by. It looked nearly identical to the wine bottle he and his first wife toasted from on this very spot on their honeymoon 20 years ago. Well, thought Fred, it's brown and bottle-shaped. He stopped and picked up the bottle, which glowed slightly to the touch. He raised it for a closer look, and the blue smoke began pouring out the open top. Fred dropped the bottle and backed away as the smoke continued to stream forth. The smoke swirled as it drifted out over the undulating ocean, and then grew dense. Before Fred's eyes, the top half of a slender, blue-skinned man formed. Instead of legs, the man had a tail of smoke that led to the bottle on the shore. I am the genie of the second enigma, spoke the gin through a broad grin. Now that you have awakened me, what 3 things would you ask? Oh, I know how this works, Fred said, holding up his fingers to tick off the wishes as he said it. First, I want to be the richest man in the world. Second, I want to be the sexual desire of my peers. Third, I want to excel at everything I do. Of course, said the genie, with his dark eyes narrowing to slits. Poof. Fred didn't feel like the richest man in the world. In fact, he felt a draft. He looked down in terror and to find out that his designer jogging suit was missing, along with his Rolex, his Air Jordans, his socks, his cell phone, even his monogrammed sweatband. What in God's name, began Fred. Hold your tongue and I will give you the explanation you require. You see, no 2 genii work alike. Some are good, some are evil, some are slaves, and some are free conditionally. In my particular case, I am free as long as I grant the second wish asked of me. The number 1 and 3 wishes, I must grant the exact opposite. Screwing you with the second wish is just a personal taste of mine. Well, you see, you seem to be getting cold, so off to town with you. Wait, pleaded Fred. I'll be arrested for indecent exposure, and I'll be thrown in jail. Fred clenched his teeth in frustration. Jail. Tisk tisk, said Jeannie. It's probably not best you not try to talk your way out of trouble. You're not excelling at negotiations today. Oh, and good luck with the pier thing in prison. Off you go. Jeannie smiled and snapped his fingers. Having no one else to toy with, the genie returned to his bottle to await his next victim. Soon enough, Sandy rode on the back of her horse, Bristow. Noticing the bottle, she dismounted for a closer look. As she slipped from her horse's back, she turned her ankle on a rock, sending spasms of pain up her leg. Sandy bit her tongue to stifle a curse and picked up the bottle. She tried to lean her weight on Bristow, but he whinnied and trotted a few feet away. What's the matter, Bristow? I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at me. Perhaps, boomed a voice behind Sandy. Your horse may never have seen a genie before. Sandy spun as quickly as she could without putting any weight on her ankle. What? The upper half of a blue-skinned man loomed over her. Forgive me for not introducing myself, said the genie. I am the genie of the second enigma. I would know your three greatest desires. Well, Sandy began, I do wish that my ankle didn't hurt so much. Oh, and I wish Bristow was a prize-winning racehorse. And of course, I want 3 more wishes. The genie smiled wickedly. Very well. Sandy shrieked as her ankle swelled. I said I wanted my ankle to hurt less. It would appear I neglected to mention my oath, explained the genie. I only grant the second wish, and I do the opposite of the first and third. Then I'll just wish it was healed next time, said Sandy. You're out of wishes, replied the dark djinn. But, Sandy's mind raced, the opposite of 3 more wishes is no more wishes, interrupted the djinn. Now have a good limp home. It shouldn't take long. I'll just ride my prize-winning racehorse, said Sandy. So sorry, mocked the djinn. Bristow is in France winning a race. Oh, did you mean to retain ownership? You should have been more specific. Now do hobble along, the tide is rising. With that, the genie vanished back into the bottle. As Sandy limped into the distance, the sun began to set. Jinn knew the time remained only for 1 more victim. Luckily, Albert picked his way across the beach. He'd been combing for 30 years, sweeping his metal detector back and forth. He'd found a lot of peculiarities on the beach in his time, but a bottle that set off his metal detector wasn't one of them. Albert upended the bottle and to shake out its contents onto the sand, and blue smoke poured forth. Carefully, Albert rested the bottle back in the sand print from which it came and stumbled away from it. I am the genie of the second enigma. You have disturbed me at the end of my day, but I will hear your 3 wishes anyway. Albert recovered quickly and scratched his head as he pondered what he asked for. Well, I don't want to be in trouble. I don't really want large amounts of wealth. The genie's smile faded. Go on. I suppose I've always wanted to meet the love of my life. Crap, said the genie. What else? What's the matter? Asked Albert. Nothing, just finish. I understand, said Albert. You spend all this time granting other people's wishes, and you don't ever get anything for yourself. I guess I could return the favor. No, said the genie. In a near panic, no, it's imperative you do me no favors. I really feel I should, said Albert. I wish that you had whatever you want most. No, screamed the genie, as a whirlwind twisted and contorted his smoky body. The blue smoke continued to twist until Jinn was sucked back into the bottle and a cork appeared, sealing it shut. Mr. Genie, what's the matter? Albert shouted into the storm, but his words were swallowed by the growing gale. Eventually, the wind pushed so hard that Albert lost his footing and tumbled down the beach. When Albert regained consciousness, Sandy knelt over him. Are you okay? She asked. You'll never guess what just happened to me, Albert replied. You ran into a bottle, out popped a genie, and turned your entire life upside down. That's a good guess, said Albert. It's a long story, said Sandy. you help me limp back to my place, I'll tell you all about it. That is something I know I can read in 15 minutes. So let's see. Projects I have coming up. I just finished a, well, I should tell you about the book I have on sale. I actually have 2 books on sale right now. One is ostentatiously titled On Becoming a Man, On Becoming a Man, that I co-authored. It's a nonfiction, Christian inspirational book. I had a co-author for that. And the other is called Suffering Rancor, which is not as cheery a title as I should have picked for my first book. But it'll make a lot more sense when you read it. And it is very epic in its scope. And if you like adventure fiction where something happens every chapter and someone dies nearly every chapter, it is the book for you. Also sweeping battle scenes, a final battle that took at least 2 chapters to write. And Adam was kind enough to give me a subtitle for it, or a description for it, of Pirates of the Caribbean meets Conan the Barbarian. And that really is a great description. So those are my books. I have just completed a mystery, my first mystery. At least I thought I was writing a mystery, and then I wrote it and I looked back on it and it was a thriller mystery. I can't not write adventure, so there is action in it as well. I've got, in June 13th in Vancouver, Washington, for those of you who are up there, I will be joining Nancy Kelly, who is a librarian slash author, soon to be an author slash librarian, for kind of a how-to on indie authoring and independent versus traditional. We'll cover all that. We've even planned 5 minutes on, by the way, if your book doesn't meet these criteria, you should probably spend more time writing it before you worry about where to publish it. But all those answers are available in one night for free at the Three Creeks Library in Vancouver, Washington, actually Salmon Creek. And other than that, everyone order lots and lots of wine and beer and eat lots of great food to support our sponsors, because they've been really generous and kind. We sell really well here. And I personally recommend Brian's book as well. I haven't had a chance to read all of the other people we're reading tonight, but The Secret of the Song Shell is a fantastic book. It's a great read. And I think he'll be like the next Lewis Carroll, only with way less drugs. And a little bit more YA friendly. But thank you all, and you have a great day.